Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do Kuroko no Basket 2, episode 14 review. That is 1-4. Now, this week's episode of Kuroko no Basket actually premieres a new opening and a new ending. So let me talk about those two things for a few minutes, and then we'll go right into the actual episode itself. First of all, the ending is actually really good, in my personal opinion. The song sounds good. There's no comprehension because I don't speak Japanese. I don't really understand Japanese that much at all. But regardless, the thing here is that it does sound nice. It sounds real smooth. Like, you know, the way your dick feels after you just get head from a nice girl. Or her natural firm breast. Not saggy, like used beanbags. No. Like natural firm titties. Real smooth. So it sounds very nice. And the actual scenes are, there's a bunch of lens flares. Lens flares for days. So you get blind, like, oh. But like in Star Trek, in the darkness, lens flares everywhere. And then you just get blind. But the thing here is that it's mainly focused on Toho and Yosen. So that to me lets me know, obviously, that, and the same thing also applies to the opening too, that the Winter Cup is mainly going to focus, when it comes to Team Seirin, it's going to mainly focus on Yosen and Toho, the team that they're playing against right now. So you can see where it's going to end off at the end of the second season of Kuroko no Basket. That's very obvious. Now, when it comes, so overall, the ending, I like it a lot. When it comes to the opening, no. First of all, I'm comparing it to the first opening, which is not fair at all. Because honestly, the first opening of this season was phenomenal. It is probably one of the best openings I've seen this year. I'm being very honest. Well, last year. 2013. It's a really good opening. It's very good. I like it. And like you see everyone dunking. No, like you see Midorima shooting. You see Kisei doing like a 360 dunk. You just see Murasaki Bara. He's doing like a tornado thing. It looks really good. The first opening is nasty. The second opening of this season, no. Because they incorporated scenes that were actually in the episode. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, no, like what is that? Because you see the opening, and you see Kuroko do the Ignite Pass in the opening. Then, literally a few seconds later, he does the same exact animated scenes. The same exact scenes occur in the episode itself. And you're like, what the? So, to me, I kind of feel like it was a tad bit lazy. I really do. And the same thing also applies to certain scenes of... I know Izuki had a scene that actually took place in the episode. I think the same thing applies to Hyuga and Kagami, but I'm not too sure. But the song itself, it was okay. It wasn't like nearly as dynamic or impactful as the first song, but it was okay. So the song itself was okay. Not really that memorable, but it's just mainly the actual scenes in the opening, were in which they took scenes from the actual episode itself and put it into the actual opening. That, to me, I find very lazy. I really do. I find it lazy as fuck. Like Snorlax lazy. Lax. Like real lax. Not laxatives, like you're just... No, I mean lax. Just lazy as fuck. Alright. So that being said, the episode itself, and speaking of lax, and laxatives, lax, Aomine takes shits. Big, massive shits on everybody. Oh my god. There was one scene. This shit was beautiful, man. It was Kuroko. When he does the vanishing drive and he tries to blitz past Aomine. Aomine closes his eyes. Everyone's shocked. They're like, get the fuck out. This guy's insane. He was able to keep up with Kuroko by closing his eyes and sense his breathing and his rhythm. So when he tried to drill past Aomine with the vanishing drive, it didn't work out. Because we find out in the episode that the way the vanishing drive works, that it's more like it's in cohesion with Kagami, mainly Kagami. We find out that the vanishing drive is like a diagonal motion. And apparently, to the human eye, it's very hard to perceive diagonal motions. You can perceive front, back, left, right very easily, but diagonals are very hard. And that's what Kuroko does. Kuroko, in coordination with Kagami, because Kagami's presence is phenomenal in the court, which is very true, because he is Seiren's ace. And people see him for a split second. They look at Kagami for like a few seconds. They see him for like a split second. And Kuroko does a drive then. He makes that downward diagonal, slant to, in a sense, disappear from their field of vision. Therefore, in a sense, he's vanishing. But Aomine closes his eyes, and he's able to predict the drive via the breathing of Kuroko. He steals the ball. And this was nasty, man. He steals the ball. He dribble passes everyone. And he slams this thing in. And the way he looked phenomenal. Now, granted, I'm not going to use it as my thumbnail because I already had, like, Aomine dunking in the last thumbnail. But this was just nasty. He was like floating, like, yeah. And he slammed this bitch in, man. Like we're playing street hoops, man. Oh my god. If you've ever played street hoops before, it's a real fun game. Old school, but real fun game. And this dude was like a street hoops character. Like, yeah, just hangs him up the wazoo. It was beautiful. Aomine just taking dumps, man. Like it's his job. Love this guy. And then, when Kuroko got real flustered, because we have Aomine talking about how the shadow can never surpass the light, because the shadow always needs the light. And he gets really mad. Kuroko, he's been busting his ass. And that's the thing here. I mean, as far as we know, when it comes to the Generation of Miracles, the ones who don't really like try that much are Aomine and Murasaki Bara. Apparently, Akashi tries really damn hard, even though he's like phenomenal. Kisei, as of late, he's been trying a lot harder. And Midorima, he always tries hard. But Kuroko, he's an enigma. So in order to like refine his skills, he has to train like really, really hard. Harder than the average player by far. And here we have all of his efforts and all of his training being thrown to the wayside by Aomine Daiki once again. Just spanking. So he gets real mad. Ignite past Kai. He's like, no, it's not gonna. The first time, shame on me. The second time, this shit ain't happening. Fuck you. And he blocks it. And the way Kuroko just had this look in his eyes, like, oh. Not only was it was disappointment in himself. It was shame. It was despair. It was all these things just seemed to accumulate in his mind at like that very instant, where none of his skills seemed to work. And like when Ryuko said, "Kuroko, you're out," you could see his face, and he was shocked and he was sad, and you're like, "Oh, dude, no," because he just got mad. If he just stayed calm, cool, and collected, if he had not jumped the gun, things would have worked out. But no. He jumped the gun, and Aomine shut him down, put him in his place. Was like, where you going, boy? So, that to me, just Aomine doing what he does best. Just Toho doing what they do best. Shutting down people. Shutting down teams. I just liked it. I really do. Now, the episode, aside from that, because what it really was mainly wasn't that part. At the end it was, yeah, obviously. But in the middle, it was mainly the shootout between Hyuga and Sakurai. And Sakurai actually showing a side of his personality that we never seen before. Where which he got real pissed because Hyuga was just... These threes were like raining butter, man. It was money, man. It was... The shots were so smooth. Real smooth. I just did that. Real smooth. There we go. And he was doing his new move called the barrier jumper. It's like a backstep, then a three-point shot. And it's real quick. And Sakurai can't stop that. But Sakurai himself actually is damn good at threes. So the better the shooter is that he's up against, the more he tries. And so when Hyuga was raining down the threes, after a while, so was Sakurai. Because Sakurai, they started to compete. And it wound up being like a tie, kind of, because they did, well, it was a tie at the end of the quarter. The first quarter, 22-22. It's just that Hyuga did come off the gate with 2 threes. With 2 threes in his face. Like, 1 and then 2. And then Sakurai stepped up to the plate with his quick release threes, which went in 2. So that was good to see, too. Because it was a lot of highlight on the shooters. And the shooters in this game, even though for now they're important. They're always important, obviously. But it's just that for now they get highlight. For now they get spotlight. But to see how, even though Aomine is there, he's not like, without him, the team would still be firing their own. You feel me? That's what I mean. Let's leave it at that. And speaking of which, even though at the beginning of the game we see the Ignite past Kai, it looks really good. It really does. Like a cannon. Like an energy wave that Vegeta fired. Blue. Like, Gallico. And he just Ignite past Kai. And the rotation of the ball is the added plus factor. Where normally the Ignite pass is like a really strong punch pass. But Aomine could catch that. At the beginning of the episode, he couldn't catch the Ignite past Kai because it had rotation. Like a bullet. So, the thing about it is that it penetrated Aomine's hand. Kyoshi caught it. Then, who really impressed me in the episode, surprisingly, was Wakamatsu. Because he's fast. He really is. Wakamatsu actually catches up to Kyoshi. And then Kyoshi's going to go for the layup. But no, right at postponement because he has those real big hands. So he goes for the layup. Then he stops. He brings it in and passes the ball behind him to Kagami Tiger right there. Lays that down. So that was a very nice sequence. Very nice sequence. And then from then on, they go to the whole shooting thing because that one guy, the captain of Toho, number 4, forgot his name. What's his name? I forgot his name. This guy, even though they had just, scored and Team Saiyan was like, they were riding the momentum train for like a few seconds, this guy, in like a few seconds, passes a high pass to one of the guys on their team, Susa, and makes a very basic shot. But because Kuroko's guarding him, and Kuroko's like a real short dude, there was a clear mismatch. Clear mismatch. So, this guy, and the father, Ryuko's father, Riko, not Ryuko. Riko's father, there you go. He actually noticed that, where number 4 is very vigilant. He's very aware of what happens. He's actually a very good captain, a very good player. So, like, whatever a team has momentum, he'll shut it down real quick by doing something very, very simple, or doing something that they were not expecting that they were not expecting Toho to do. So, I like that guy. I really do, even though I forgot his name. So, hypocrisy there, kind of, yeah, but it is what it is. Now, the episode rating overall. The episode overall, I did like it a lot. Again, when it comes to that one scene with Aomine coming in there real hard, man. Yeah, that was beautiful, bro. The animation was good. But you kind of got, like, surprise spoilers on the animation. Because of the opening. Because the opening had the same scenes as the actual episode itself. So that's a no-no in my book, but it is what it is. And what I can say is that when it came to the character development, well, there's a lot of, not really that, but more so character interaction between Aomine and Kuroko. That was good. Because the end result is Kuroko actually being on the bench. And Kuroko actually seeing all of his hard work being thrown to the wayside. And still being so inferior to Aomine Daiki. But now we have Kagami Tiger. He's going to come in there. And we're going to see what happens there. We're going to see what happens in the next episode of Kuroko no Basket too. So, there was good character development. I mean, there was good character interaction between those two and Hyuga and Sakurai, which is also pretty damn good. And finally, seeing the way it was paced, how a lot of times they did focus on the teams outside, and, they're watching, and they're giving their perspective, their take, on certain situations. We see a few scenes of Akashi, like in the corner, like in the shadows. He's like, yeah. Then he's like serious face, like, So that was intriguing to see a few scenes of him. And of course, the game itself, the way it flowed. Now they're in the second quarter. They just started the second quarter, and they came off the gate, Team Seirin, and that's the way it is. The way the episode transpired, Team Seirin started off on a real high. They came back down because their high was shut down immediately by the captain of Toho with that easy pass to that one guy who's taller, much taller than Kuroko, that mismatch. Then they came back up because Hyuga started, laying the threes, and they tied it in at the end of the first quarter. Then it was an immediate drop once again. So it's a heartbeat pretty much of when we have Aomine just come in there. The only guy that can beat me is me, and he comes in there. He straight up street hoops it, and he slaughters them. Takes shits once again. Huge dumps right out of his asshole. So overrating this episode, I'm going to give it a good plus, and I will see you guys later. Be sure to, of course, rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always. Peace. Have a nice day. The only person... I'm sorry. Honestly, I'm thinking about it now. That scene was... No. I'll choose another scene. But it has to be Aomine once again. Because this guy's too good. The only person that can beat me is me. I love this guy. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Peace. Have a nice day.